We have with us Professor G. Raghuram, who has recently laid down office as Director of IIM Bangalore, and we are taking this opportunity to get his views, reflections and input on his tenure as Director of IIM Bangalore. Professor Raghuram, thank you very much for being here this afternoon. We really appreciate your time and hope that you will enjoy this discussion as much as we are looking forward to it. Thank you very much. To get started, would you like to talk about your dreams and aspirations and motivations to actually take up the position of Director at IIM Bangalore? Or
during my long career at IIM Ahmedabad as a faculty, I hadn't particularly thought that I should at some point move into a significant administrative role like this. But I guess it sort of grows on you when, because as part of being a faculty, I was one who was always ready to take on service roles. I quite enjoyed them at IIM Ahmedabad. I never said no when any director asked me for whatever role, including, launching new programs or, various activity-specific task forces and so on. But that gave me an insight. I had served on the board, I had served on the FDEC. So somewhere I thought towards the end of my career, it would be something that I thought I would enjoy doing. The IIM Bangalore opportunity came up. I was debating, but I think my family gave me the nudge and said, since you have been sort of thinking along these lines, why not IIM Bangalore? And then I said, well, why not? And in fact, IIM Bangalore had lots of pluses for me at that time. So it was really the age and stage of my career that I thought I'd enjoy doing something like this and see what I can contribute. And IIM Bangalore came as an opportunity at that time. In fact, the ministry, of course, knowing those who had been otherwise put their name in the director's hat, had been pushing for such faculty to apply to the newer IIMs. But I thought that I was not really cut out for that because I think what I had gathered over so many years at IIM Ahmedabad was more managing or leading an ongoing institution, though there were nudges from the ministry to consider other IIMs, that I was very clear I would not. And so I have been seeing IIMB right from when it started. I had visited IIMB when many of my IIT batchmates were doing their summer internship. While during the same 2 years I was a student at IIM Ahmedabad, my summer internship was actually at MICO. That was my first connect with IIMB, and even then I liked the idea that IIMB started with this focus on the public sector. Because my own upbringing had been in railway colonies and railways, and I had sort of in my own way built an intuitive sense about railways and transportation in general. And I like the fact that that was one of the sectors of focus at IIM. Then I had other opportunities of coming to IIM Bangalore. Well, one is when IIM Ahmedabad was doing its admissions rounds, I think through a large part of the 80s, 90s, Bangalore interviews were held in IIMB campus. So every time I would come here, one would try to catch up with a few faculty. Some of our fellow program students from there had become faculty here. Some others I knew professionally. So, it was a place that, and then I've been seeing some of its transformations from the sector perspective to the general management primacy, and the institution was kind of familiar to me. It stood for the same sort of values, direction as what the institution that I was familiar with. On top of it, I think there was this very delectable sense of knowing yet not knowing, especially, my belief that these institutions are really around the faculty in the core. And if I looked at the 100 faculty or so, I think there were at least about 40 who I already knew. Either they were doctoral students in Ahmedabad, joined here as faculty, some of them had moved from Ahmedabad as faculty here, and there were a few others I knew professionally in the operations research and operations management areas. So, it was then, that there would still be all that excitement about at least a new place, still new people to get to know. So, I think that was one driver. The other is I always held that Bangalore has come up on its, to a level that was almost in the same category as Ahmedabad, Calcutta, Bangalore, all three. I think I felt good about coming to such an institution. And then of course, Bangalore also held interest for me from a personal sense. My elder brother and many cousins and others are in Bangalore. I remember, even before I came here, people were saying, what's your strategy or what's the legacy you're going to leave behind? I wasn't sure that I wanted to say 1, 2, 3 things I will try to do, and because the learning from seeing Ahmedabad, I think at least my takeaway was these institutions had reached a certain level of maturity that a director cannot sit there and say that, I think these are a few things we need to do and let's set about doing them. The maturity of these institutions are such that I think the director's role would be to find pockets of energy amongst the faculty and do as much as possible of a bottom-up by engaging, energizing and enhancing, which are the 3 words that the IIMB Alumni Association uses as a sub-tag. And that really, that's exactly what I thought. Because faculty are in this, management, there's a broad sense of what we want to do. We want to do it well. And the best way in which innovations, activities, change in processes, whatever it is, can come is when a group of faculty and then, and it slowly sort of percolates into the larger faculty sense and finally becomes something to get done. And I thought that the director's role is to sense this and enable it to sort of bubble up, crystallize up.
Wonderful.
So that was the way I thought I should approach